The secondhand shoes in a quiet town in Ohio. 12-year-old Ethan Miller sat on the steps of a thrift store, staring at a pair of worn-out sneakers in the display window. His own shoes, torn at the seams and with holes in the soles, had been patched so many times with tape that they barely held together. Basketball season was starting at school, and Ethan dreamed of joining the team. But with his dad out of work and his mom juggling 2 jobs, new shoes weren't even a possibility. The sneakers in the thrift store window weren't fancy. They weren't the shiny, brand new Nikes his classmates wore. But to Ethan, they were perfect, clean, sturdy, and just the right size. The price tag read $12.50. Ethan dug into his pocket and pulled out the handful of coins he'd been saving. He had $7.40. Not enough, he sighed, staring through the glass. When an old man with a cane stopped beside him. "Eyeing those shoes, son?" the man asked, his voice rough but kind. Ethan nodded shyly. "I've been saving, but I'm still short." The man leaned on his cane, studying him. "Well, sometimes the shoes find their way to the right feet. Don't give up yet, K." With a wink, he shuffled inside the store. Ethan didn't understand what he meant, but he held on to those words like a spark of hope. The sacrifice that night. Ethan's mom came home from her shift at the diner, her apron smelling faintly of coffee and fried eggs. She kissed the top of his head, still thinking about those sneakers. She asked gently. Ethan looked down, embarrassed. "Yeah, but I don't have enough. I don't want to bother you or Dad. You're already doing so much." Her eyes filled with both love and sadness. "Sweetheart, don't ever feel like your dreams are a bother. We'll figure something out." But Ethan knew better. The bills on the counter spoke louder than her words. The gift the next day after school. Ethan walked back to the thrift store, ready to check if the shoes were still there. His heart sank when he saw the display window empty. The sneakers were gone. Disappointed, he turned to leave when the store owner, Mrs. Garcia, waved him inside. "Ethan, someone left these for you," she said, holding up a bag. Inside were the sneakers, the very pair he had admired. Ethan's eyes widened. "But how?" "I didn't buy them," Mrs. Garcia smiled. "A gentleman came in yesterday, said he saw you looking at them, paid in full, and told me to save them for you." Ethan's hands trembled as he pulled the sneakers out. They weren't new, but they were his. The old man's words echoed in his mind. Sometimes the shoes find their way to the right feet. The game on, the day of basketball tryouts. Ethan laced up his second-hand sneakers. They fit perfectly, as though they'd been waiting for him all along. The gym buzzed with the squeak of rubber soles and bouncing balls. Some kids smirked at his thrift store shoes, but Ethan didn't care. For the first time in months, he felt confident. Coach Williams watched carefully as Ethan dribbled down the court, dodging taller players and sinking shot after shot. By the end of practice, the coach clapped him on the back. "You've got heart, kid. Welcome to the team." Ethan grinned, so wide it hurt. He couldn't wait to tell his parents and, maybe even the old man, if he ever saw him again. The ripple effect, later. Ethan spotted the old man sitting on a bench outside the park, his cane resting beside him. "Sir?" Ethan ran up, holding his basketball under his arm. "Were you the one who bought the shoes?" The man looked at him with a twinkle in his eye. "Maybe I was. How are they working out for you?" Ethan's face glowed. "I made the team. Thank you. You changed everything." The man shook his head. "No, son. You changed everything. The shoes just helped you see what was already inside." He patted Ethan's shoulder before standing to leave. "Someday, when you see someone in need, you'll pass it on. That's how kindness works." Sid keeps walking. As full circle years passed, Ethan grew into a young man, eventually earning a basketball scholarship to college. He never forgot the old man or the second-hand sneakers that gave him the confidence to chase his dreams. One winter, while visiting home, Ethan walked past the thrift store. In the window sat a small pair of children's boots, scuffed but warm. A little boy stood outside, gazing at them longingly. Just as Ethan once had. Without hesitation, Ethan walked inside and bought the boots. He handed the bag to the boy with a smile. "Sometimes," he said softly, remembering the words spoken to him years ago, "the shoes find their way to the right feet." The boy's face lit up, and Ethan knew the ripple of kindness had just begun again. Moral of the story: the secondhand shoes reminds us that kindness doesn't have to be big or flashy. A small act like buying a pair of thrift store sneakers can give someone the confidence and hope they need to change their life. Kindness walks with us, step by step, and when we pass it on, it creates ripples that last forever.